Hello and welcome to Competitive Crunch. My name is Spade, and are you ready for Smogon's rarely used RU Beta tier? Yes, a brand new lower tier is finally here, but something to keep in mind is that this is indeed beta, and there will be a lot of fluctuation, and now as we go through the list, you will see a bunch of Pokemon that do not belong there. But this is simply based on the 3-month usage stats of the underused tier. In fact, there's also some beta stats. So a lot of fluctuation, a lot of Pokemon don't belong there. That will change over the course of next 3 months or so. Probably doesn't even take that long. But just saying, a lot of fluctuations. Things will change for the better. It's just gonna take a bunch of time. Think of it this way. You have, in your neighborhood, you got a bunch of Bob the Builders. They're starting to build a new block of flats or whatever kind of building. They only have a stone base set up. And you don't go and complain to them that this is not a building. Because obviously you know it's going to take time. Same thing here. This is a new tier. It's being built from a scratch. And this is nothing how it will look like about a year from now. It's going to take time, so just be patient and do not freak out, because this is rarely used beta. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. And these are the UU stats, because yeah, obviously 3-month usage of the UU tier. But right here we have the 3.4% cutoff point, and the Pokemon that are below this percent of usage will be in the new rarely used tier for now. And these are the Pokemon that are banned, except for Druddigon, because it's some sort of inside joke that nobody gets. But yeah, there's that. So right off the bat, there's Kyuuren, which you can use in the rarely used tier. And one would imagine it's not gonna be there for long. Maybe a week or so. So if you're interested, go to Showdown now and use it, because it's most likely going to get the ban hammer pretty soon. Can't really see it working in the rarely used tier, but it's probably gonna, over the course of months, it's probably gonna naturally rise up to the UU tier, because it's pretty close there. Back in Gen 5 it was pretty useful Pokemon in the UU tier, so it's probably gonna naturally rise up anyways. But yeah, it's gonna be available in the RU tier, at least for now, so if you want to use it now, go ahead, now is your time. Although I believe the ladder on Showdown is not yet set up, at least as I'm recording this now. This was posted yesterday. I'm recording and uploading this on Friday, so there is that. But the ladder should be set up soon, and Kyuuren should be available there, unless it doesn't get banned before that. But it will most likely get the ban hammer pretty soon. And let's see what other controversial Pokemon do we have here. Raikou, perhaps? Yeah, one could imagine that thing getting a ban hammer, and you know, you could see it working in the current UU metagame. It was a good UU Pokemon in the past. Maybe now it's a bit more mediocre. Hidden Power got nerfed, so that kind of sucks. But Raikou is still a dangerous sub-calm minder, choice attacker with specs or even Scarf as a fast revenge killer. Has that respectable, really high special attack. And I guess you could also run Assault West on it. That's what people also tend to do. So it's probably, I wouldn't imagine Raikou sticking around in the RU tier for too long, because like looking what's in here, I don't really know what could really take it on. Like, it has extra sensory for things like Among Us. It has Hidden Power Grass or Ice for the ground, and you know, other things that would resist, like its main stab move in form of Thunderbolt. So like, there aren't really many things that could like safely take it on, like this Gastrodon, but it has Hidden Power Grass for it, and you know, Thunderbolt kind of destroys everything else pretty much, and Subcom Mind is really dangerous, so there's that. Also, Shaman could be slightly controversial of a Pokemon. Although, you know, grass type offensively isn't that great, but it does have that awesome Seed Flare and, you know, can do sub-seeding shenanigans. It does have respectable coverage, like Earth Power and then like Psychic, Air Slash, or Hidden Power Fire. That's usually all that it really needs, but we'll see. But still, saying a slightly controversial Pokemon, as is Azelf here. Like, it's super fast, really strong, and has nasty plot. But probably the reason why it's not being really used in the higher tiers is because of knockoff spam, and it's, you know, still in the end kind of a mediocre Pokemon. And I believe, yeah, there's Re-Uniclus too. It's a Psychic types kind of got hurt by the fact of everything spamming knockoff, so that's why they haven't really been used much in the higher tiers, and that's why they're now kind of in the bottom of the ladder right now. Re-Uniclus is definitely another kind of a controversial Pokemon, you know. It's really powerful Calm Mind Sweeper with that bulky spread, and then there's also the Trick Room sets that are really dangerous with Life Orb and Magic Guard. You will not be taking Life Orb recoil, so that's a cool added bonus right there. And what other interesting Pokemon? There's some bulky waters like Jellicent and Milotic, and those could be pretty cool. Toxic Rogue also in the RU tier, you know, kind of got hurt by the fact that there's no Permarain anymore, but I think it's still a pretty useful Pokemon. Perhaps RU will be its place, because it's kind of slow, but it does have Sucker Punch and priority. It does have that unique typing with Poison and Fighting. So even though, you know, there are like Fairy types that resist, you know, Fighting, you know, it does have that secondary stab. So that's pretty cool. You can also use Gong Shot, which is slightly more accurate now. So that is pretty cool. But Jellicent and Milotic, pretty solid walls. I don't know if neither of these would be really broken for the new rarely used tier, because they just simply don't, at least at the time, they don't have a place in the higher tiers. So there is that. Let's see what other interesting Pokemon. And there are also some Pokemon that already got banned, like Crawdon is here, but, you know, obviously it already got banned to BL. So there's that, because, you know, this is based on the UU beta stats also. So they still hold a place in the usage for the time being, but obviously things like Crawdon, I believe. What else do we have? Hydreigon, Magnezone, Salamence, all those things are banned. So there are some random power creeps here that have already been banned to BL, and they will not be available in the RU tier. So at least don't freak out about those Pokemon. But let's see what other interesting. Cofagrigus could be a cool Pokemon. It kind of was a solid RU Pokemon in the past generation, but then it naturally rose up to the underused tier. But I don't know how it's going to be doing this generation. You know, it doesn't have the niche of being a spin blocker, because, you know, Defog is around, so there's that. Also, Hidden Power got nerfed, so it kind of sucks for the Nasty Blood Sweeper, but it's still a solid Pokemon, so there's that, a solid wall. Anyways, what other interesting Pokemon? Cresselia, another bulky Psychic type, but yeah, definitely if Re-Uniclus is gonna be around, Cresselia probably doesn't get too much usage. Malamar could be a cool Pokemon for the RU tier, because it's kind of a weird gimmick with the superpowered contrary shenanigans. It does have some cool coverage with the Fighting Dark and then, you know, stab Psychic move like Psycho Cut or something, but it's still kind of I don't know, mediocre stats. It's a gimmick with the contrary, but maybe RU would be a good place to use that thing. And Latias is definitely, it's banned to BL, so if not, has it already risen naturally to OU? I think so, because of the new way the tiering system works. It probably is already in the OU tier, but yeah, you don't need to worry about it in the RU tier. And I think Zapdos also in the OU tier, but Bronzong, that could be kind of cool. Bronzong kind of got hurt badly by the Steel type nerf. Instead of 2 weaknesses, it has 4, so that could be an interesting bulky wall in the in the rarely used tier, definitely. And Zoroark is around apparently too. That could be kind of cool. Keldeo and Hawlucha, Chansey, all these things are already in the BL, if not some of them in the OU. So don't need to worry about those Pokemon. But let's see what other interesting Pokemon are there. Clawitzer could be kind of cool because it's kind of, the speed is really holding it down. It does have that cool set of coverage moves boosted by its unique ability. The whatchamacallit, I don't even remember. Anyways, Yanmega, I think that was, in the past generation, that was banned from the RU, so it could be kind of cool to use it now. Especially with default support, it could be easier to pull that off in the rarely used tier. Not sure what Whimsicott could do now with the fairy typing. Hasn't really done much, so maybe it will now find a place in the new RU tier. Escavalier is kind of cool with the addition of knockoff, and it also got drill run, so that is pretty cool. You know, spamming that with like a choice band. And I guess Assault Vest is kind of a cool item on that thing too. Gastrodon has kind of found its way back to the RU tier now that the rain got nerfed, and it doesn't have that niche of dealing with rain teams anymore, so it's kind of back to where it was. It was kind of cool at the beginning of Generation 5. Gastro was in the RU tier, but then it suddenly jumped up to the OU tier as people found out it's actually really useful dealing with rain teams and Politoads and such things. But now that that's not really an issue, Gastro doesn't really have a place in the higher tiers, in the OU tier mainly anymore, so there's that. Sharpedo could be a dangerous sweeper down there, definitely. And Sableye, I guess that thing is gonna be down here. I think it was RU in the past. Oh no, wait, it rose up to the UU pretty quickly after getting the prankster ability, but for the time being it could be used in the RU tier. But honestly, this tier doesn't seem too bad. There's Venomoth now. That thing, I believe, got the ban hammer in the previous generation, but perhaps now it will be alright, because it is a dangerous sweeper with that Quiver Dance, and it does have Sleep Powder Tinted Lens, so it doesn't need to worry about coverage moves that much. But in the past generation it was too much for the RU tier, but of course this is a brand new generation, so it's gonna be exciting to see how Venomoth will be doing in that tier. But this is basically how the RU tier is looking right now. I guess I could go through all these Pokemon. I missed a few interesting ones probably, but you can leave your thoughts in the comment section below. But honestly, this isn't even looking too bad. There are a few Pokemon that definitely need to go, like Kyuuren here and probably Raikou, maybe Shaman, Azelf, Reuniclus, and those are like definitely the most controversial Pokemon. And Kyuuren will definitely go. But Ambipom is finally in the RU tier. That's what people were kind of hoping in the last gen, and now it is, at least for the time being. Still pretty close to the UU limit, so it may naturally rise up to UU. But we shall see what is going to happen. But this is how the tier is looking at right now. So yeah, go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think of the current RU beta? Leave your thoughts of which are the controversial Pokemon in your opinion that should be banned from the RU tier. And yeah, please do not worry, many things will be banned, much like with the UU beta. Most likely they will be banning like a few Pokemon at a time, then see how the metagame develops, and then just go ahead and ban more. Do some quick bans and then perhaps retest them if they did some sort of mistake with that Pokemon, much like they did with the UU beta, which is now official. They have already started retesting some Pokemon in the UU beta too. I think Weavile returned there and perhaps a few others. I don't know if Thunder's Therian did. Probably not. But Weavile is back. That much I know. Yeah, the RU beta still kind of a mess, but not really. There are I'm saying a lot less, fluctuation compared to the beginning of the UU beta, definitely. But still some controversial Pokemon. So leave your thoughts about those, and I will check you guys next time for more CC and random news on the Pokemon and Smogon community. Until then, this is Spade, signing out. Peace!